very much for joining me on a Instagram Live to create an
Thank you for asking.
and I haven't done enough rally cars, so I thought I know the person who I need to ask about rally cars. And that is you, because you've been commentating and involved with, and it's very much your world, isn't it?
It is my world, yeah. I started in rallying in 1999. That was my first ever event in rallying, and that was what would have been, what is Wales Rally GB now, but it was called something very different back then. I think it was Network Q Rally of Great Britain back in 1999, and we were based in Cheltenham. That was my first event, and then 20 plus years now. Ooh, scary.
Awesome. Well, before we delve straight into it, which image of the Fiesta would you like to see created? Because what I love about rallying images is there's so much action, whether it's ice, snow, water. There's so much action. Which one is the one that you go, oh?
That one.
That one. Is it mainly because of this here?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just give you the other options, just in case.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, do you know what? I'm good with any image you create. What do you think is going to look best? You're the artist, after all.
I really love this one, mate, because of the extended suspension. However, because you were so like that one, I feel like I really, you know what? I'll do the car in big, but I'll make sure the helicopter features in the background a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that'll look cool.
It's such a big part of it all, and if you talk to anyone who follows rallying or watches WRC Plus or live, they're going to mention the helicopter, because the helicopter is as dynamic as the cars are. They are mad, just that is incredible.
That is as close as to the ground as that is just ridiculous. So yeah, it would be wrong. It would be wrong not to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to concentrate on the car initially, and then drop the helicopter in. So we'll do the car, and then we'll probably. I might just chickening out a little bit there. Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, I've given you a challenge here.
I know. You put me on the spot. That's a problem.
Oh no!
It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. No. Right, I'm gonna do.
Like that, Becs Williams. Why on earth did we apply air?
No, we're gonna go. Let's. You know what? Let's just go with it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with it. I feel
like I've disappointed you already, and we're only a few minutes in.
Yeah, I'm like, right, not coming back again. That's it, off the list. Yeah, we'll work it out. The helicopter will feature in there, but the car needs to go in first, and then I'll do the helicopter. So I will do that for you, no problems at all.
Oh, great, lovely. Get the heli in. Honestly, you'll delight everyone with the heli. I'm telling you. There's already people commenting on the heli.
Yeah, it's got to be done on it. So this is the M-Sport Fiesta WRC. Obviously, they create a number of levels of Fiesta rally cars, but this is the top spec WRC.
It is.
I presume it was probably the rally earlier on, because how many rallies have there been this season so far?
We've had 3 rallies, so we've been really lucky, actually. Out of the Motorsport Championships, we've been lucky to start the season. So we've got Monte Carlo underway, Sweden and Rally Mexico, and it was just a week after Rally Mexico that we went into lockdown in the UK. So I think pretty much that was one of the last motorsport events globally that happened.
Yeah, because obviously the touring car didn't happen, F1 was cancelled, so but honestly, I could chat rally into you for without even having to draw. I love the sport. I was lucky enough to be involved in a couple of I did it at Cardiff 2009 with the team.
Yeah, I remember you there.
Yeah, so it was one of the. It still remains one of the coolest events I did, and I'll talk about it whilst I'm drawing. So continuous car drawings, how it works is once I put the pen down, I don't lift it off the paper. So I'll draw the entire image without lifting the pen off the paper, and then I'll work back into it and create all the colours and everything else. That's what comes from over here. But the basic image, I don't lift the pen off the paper. That is.
So am I the umpire here? Do I have to check that you are keeping your pen on the paper?
Well, no, actually, because what I found is at events people are like, oh, how do you concentrate when somebody's talking at you? How do you? Well, actually, at events, I'm listening to a lot what's going on. So when I'm painting my normal paintings, my big giant paintings, there's always noise going on, whether it's at F1 or touring car or whatever. There's always noise, and I love hearing engines and stuff starting up and whatever. So actually, what I was missing was talking to people and meeting people at events. So how do I do that online? So I thought, well, let's create something in an hour, and then get people involved who I've met over the years and chat to them about how they got into their career. Because often what happens at events, you're busy, I'm busy, so I don't actually get to find out how did you get into the job role that you're doing now. So that people can find out actually if they're inspired by what you do or how you go about it, how do they do that as well, type of thing, or how can they go about it. So it's just kind of finding out how you first got into motorsport, the love of rallying, and in that time I'll start waffling out and do my job. So the pen's going to go down. Introduce yourself, and we will chat about rallying and all things all things rallying. There we go. Anyways, right, I'm going to start. So go ahead.
Okay, so I am Becs Williams. I'm currently the lead commentator for the FIA World Rally Championship on their WRC All Live platform, which is OTT. We run throughout the entire duration of the rally. Every single stage is covered by multiple cameras, onboard cameras, the fabulous helicopter. And I've been within rally and within WRC full-time and since 2002. But I have to admit, looking back, and a lot of people ask me this, a lot of people ask me how I've got my job because they want my job. And I understand why they want my job, because it is fantastic. I never saw myself when I was in school, for example, as a motorsport journalist. When I was growing up, I wanted to act or produce, direct, create films. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the next Steven Spielberg. And when I went to university, that was my plan. And I studied film, journalism. I did lots of different things visually, I suppose, in a visual art kind of sense. I did photojournalism, learned how to edit films, all that kind of production process, because I believed in my heart that I would go into a behind-the-scenes role in that kind of industry. And then it changed. I left university after 3 fabulous years in Exeter, and I went and worked in a chocolate factory for a bit, as you do, to earn a bit of money.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, it wasn't Willy Wonka. It wasn't what I imagined it was going to be, let me tell you. But it was a good place to have a think, and I did some work experience at BBC Wales, and they were really great at BBC Wales. They've got so many different departments. Their huge drama department, which produces all the Doctor Who that you see now on TV, and Casualty as well. But back in the day, they had a fabulous kind of plethora of loads of different things going on. And I worked in lots of different departments, and I went to work in the sport department. And wow, it blew me away. It blew me away because it was so much positivity, so much positive energy of people striving to achieve their dreams and achieve goals. I worked in the news section. That really did depress me. I worked in drama, and there were some divas. But in sport, it felt like everyone was real. And I'd always had a kind of background love of rallying. No one in my family rallied. No one drove in my family, actually. I was the first person who drove a car in my family. My parents didn't drive, my brothers didn't drive. But they took me to a rally when I was young. And it was in 1981, I was 4. And it was the British round of the World Rally Championship they took me to. I remember nothing other than lights, mud, wearing some really fabulous wellies at the time. But that's what hooked me onto motorsport. And I followed it throughout my teenage years. My brothers kind of decided motorsport wasn't for them. They were far more interested in girls. But I kept following it. I remember vividly being in university and following what was happening in the WRC using CFAX and all those modern tools.
I mean, for people who don't know what CFAX is, you literally got information from somebody else typing it in onto it, and it came up as yellow, and I remember it was the most bizarre way information ever came, but that was how we got information about sports results and stuff.
Yeah, no, it was. And that's how you kept in touch. And it's amazing, isn't it, to look back. I mean, that was in the mid-90s, and you look at where we are now, and everything you know in an instant, thanks to social media, thanks to everything being live. But back then, it was so difficult to find out what was happening on the other side of the world. When rallying was on in New Zealand and you wanted to find out what was happening right here, right now, it was almost impossible unless you had someone you knew there who you could maybe ring on a landline and find out what was going on. So, yeah, CFAX was the way forward. And that's how you got updated with the results. And then you waited for the television programme to come on a week, maybe 2 weeks after the event to find out all the stories. Anyway, I'm waffling now.
That's all right. No, it's good. It's good. So
yeah, I'm giving you time. I'm still checking your pen, and you've done well.
I've done well. The car is done. I'm now going to get the helichopper in now. There we are. So it's going to be a little helicopter, but it'll be a helicopter. So.
So I left the BBC in search of a sports agency that I could work for. I really wanted to try and see if I could find some work in motorsport somewhere along the line. And I'll be completely honest, I just stroke luck. And I think you have to be lucky in your career. Everyone has a bit of luck, and I definitely did, to find an agency in Cardiff that worked in the British Rally Championship, in the World Rally Championship, but not only that, they worked across many different sports, athletics, rugby, which is another love of mine, golf, which I'm not such a fan of, but, you know, they did lots of different things, cricket as well, horse racing, so it was kind of a multifaceted sport agency, and I joined them, and I was very lucky that very quickly I was propelled into covering events, but it wasn't rally that was my first event. I actually started in British touring cars. Okay. So I think 2 or 3 years of reporting on British touring cars in the late 90s. So
that was the S2000 era, so post Super Tourer, but S2000.
Well, we still had, I'm trying to think who was there at the time. It was Anthony Reid, Alain Menu, who were with Ford at the time.
Yeah.
And Rickard Rydell, of course.
Yeah.
So I think I did that for about 3 years. My first ever ride in any kind of car was with Alain Menu, actually, and that was fantastic, around Silverstone.
There's a very, very basic outline of helicopter and rally car. So we're now going to make it into a pretty artwork. So that's that's what all one continued. Started there, up, down, did the car, up, did the helicopter, back down, and to the signature at the bottom. So that's all in one line. So now to make it into what you see there. So now I'm going to let that. So yeah, that's cool. So you kind of got your first taste in touring cars. So was that IC? Yeah. Was it BBC at that time, touring car, or was it ITV?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it was BBC.
Yeah, I think it could have been, because it was great. It was like a grandstand for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just it was a fantastic era, and then it petered off a little bit into the early 2000s, and then has come back really strongly. I mean, I so enjoyed watching the races last year, especially the final race of the year. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. I mean,
British Touring Cars was kind of where I was for quite some time before I headed into rallying, and my first rally was 1999, and I remember seeing the Ford Focuses with Colin McRae, the Martini livery. It was it then? Was that 1990? I think it was. Oh, it all gets a bit hazy the older you get.
Yeah.
But I remember being blown away by the cars, and then being thrown in front of Mr. Carlos Sainz as my first ever WRC interview, which was
no pressure.
Slightly intimidating, I will not lie. I was nervous, my hands were shaky, and he was stood eating a bourbon biscuit, and I was like, hello, I'm going to interview you for BBC 5 Live. Do you want to finish your biscuit first? And he was like, no, you crack on, you start, I can eat and talk at the same time. And I still got a huge crush is the wrong word, because it's not that, but you have such a respect for athletes, for competitors, And then to be faced with one and your boss telling you, yeah, go on, interview him. Go and ask him how he's feeling about the weekend. And literally everything he said, I was listening so closely to make sure that I asked a relevant question next. My eyes must have been like this the whole time. And yeah, I walked away from him thinking, I can't possibly do this for the rest of my career because I'm shaking like a leaf. But thank goodness that period of nervousness and being a little bit in awe disappeared quite quickly when you got into the grunt work of it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, at first it was, quite nervous. But working in the World Rally Championship is still hugely exciting because my boss at the time, Greg Strange, fantastic innovator for the World Rally Championship. He created World Rally Radio, which started in 2002. And it was a kind of collaboration of ideas. There was Greg, who had the idea, my colleague Chris, and myself, three of us who were going to work on World Rally Radio. And Greg had dreamed up this idea that a radio station would cover every round of the championship, and someone would be there talking for 10 hours a day while the rally was going on, updating people as to what was going on, interviewing drivers, all the rest of it. And I was like, wow, Greg, that's a huge job. Who on earth are we going to find to do that?
I mean, that's the thing that's the difference between rallying and like F1 and stuff, is that it goes like, because of the stages, like they go on for a long, and you go from everything from WRC down to R5, down to every class. It's a long old day. Yeah, there's a lot going on as well.
It is. I mean, for instance, right now, okay, sometimes, you notice the difference. A lot of people will tell you over the years rallies have gotten shorter. So you don't have such the blisteringly early starts, but yet we still do. Our average day for us on All Live, we're into a studio by 5 a.m. maybe. We're talking at 6 o'clock in the morning, and as in talking, you're interviewing drivers. You're trying to make sense at that time in the morning. It can be a challenge, and then you're going on till maybe 9-10 o'clock at night. They're long days, but they're really exciting days. And our boss on All Live had said to us before, maybe we need to break up the day. Maybe you guys can't talk all day. Maybe you can't commentate all day. Maybe you need to do it in shifts. But all of us were like, no, we can't miss a single moment of the day. Yeah. Sometimes the hours have been extreme. There was one day that was nearly 15, 16 hours, but normally they're about 10 hours a day, if not more than that. But we love it so much that no one questions the time, because you're enjoying the rallying. We're really privileged to be doing what we're doing, and I truly believe that. We have an absolute joy of a job, which, as I said before, a lot of people want, and a lot of people ask me. And what I really love is, there's a lot of young people out there, and certainly a lot of younger females as well, who email me or send me messages on Twitter and ask me how I got into the sport. Because sometimes for a lot of female commentators or presenters, they've got into the sport because they have competed previously, whereas in my case, I haven't. I had an absolute love of the sport, which I followed on, and was lucky to find an agency that worked within rallying, and you just work as hard as you possibly can. But it's really good to see that people are interested in becoming sports journalists and motorsports journalists. The more the better, the more the merrier. Yeah,
and I think it's such a. I think about it, right, there's so many different levels to it as well, because you've got the British Championship, you've got WRC, but actually it's kind of like almost like that grassroots feel to it, that you've got families, and you've got families who are taking the car out and fixing it themselves, and then you've got the big boys in the industry like M-Sport, who are I mean, I remember working with them when I was when I did the piece at car, and it's just amazing. Just being part of it was just unbelievable what they were doing.
It is, and it does feel, for all of us who work on the championship, it is, well, I call it a travelling circus, but it is like a travelling family. You're all the same. It's always the same people pretty much all of the time. But you're right, you do get that grassroots flavour with the drivers and the smaller teams that are looking to break into the championship, so into WRC2, WRC3 territory, and the junior championship. You have so many different levels all within one umbrella of a championship. You can see the different levels moving up, and it's brilliant to see. And I feel lucky that I've seen drivers like Sebastian Ogier, who came in 2008 in the Junior Championship. And when I was first interviewing Seb, he spoke absolutely no English whatsoever. He could say please, thank you, and that was about it. And to see his progression from, you know, he was a superstar then in 2008, winning so many events in his first year. But to see him progress in a competitive level, but also grow as a person in that time as well, and become this incredible driver that he is, that's, something that I really appreciate, that I've been able to see a lot of drivers grow and become these incredible athletes.
So in terms of some of the stuff that you've seen from 1999 to now, like that's an amazing time to see rallying progress. So what's been the most kind of exciting development in the sport, or what have you just seen that I guess with advance with technology, the sport has just advanced with that as well?
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been interesting to see the cars change. You're working now on the Fiesta, but obviously the Ford Focus was such a massive part of the World Championship with M-Sport for so many years. And I remember when the old girl changed and the Fiesta came in, and we thought, wow, how are we going to adapt to this? It's a Fiesta. And not to put the Fiesta down, it was my first ever car. But it felt like such a massive change at the time. And then you see the leapfrogging in 2017 when the regulations changed again, and we have the new beasts now, essentially. What is going to be the future? I think it's jaw-dropping how much technology changes. The safety aspect for me has been a huge one. The increase in safety, which has been worked on by the FIA and all of the teams, all the manufacturers have worked so hard to create safe cars for these guys, because every time they head out into a stage, you never know what is going to happen, but at least they know that the cars are built so well now, they're so strong, and that just keeps increasing all the time. I think that's a major point. And the way we consume rally has changed. We talked about, getting results on CFAX. Now all you have to do is turn on your computer, your iPad or your phone, and you can be watching a stage live using WRC+. You can be inside the car with the drivers. You're hearing the pace notes. You're watching them going through the stage. We can be on board with a helicopter if we want. It's insane what we can do now. And already 2 years into the All Live project, I think we're taking it for granted. This is an incredible thing that we can follow these cars in remote stages, in remote parts of the world, without hardly any glitches. Of course, there's going to be some, because that's technology. Yeah. But for the most part, it runs so smoothly, and it does kind of blow my mind sometimes, because I take it for granted. Yeah, just take it for granted that I'm going to be on board with Seb Ogier, I'm going to be talking about him in a minute, and boop, there he is, he pops up. And I'm chatting about him, and sometimes I think I have to sit back and think, well, that is pretty incredible.
And are the current cars, are they like your new favourite ones, or have you got a particular era that you go, oh, that was a kind of the golden era, or or just because the rally is progressing and the cars are progressing, the technology does that excite you as well?
That does excite me. I wouldn't say I'm not the kind of person who looks back with rose-tinted lenses and says, oh, that was the golden era, that was the best time, because I truly believe we are in the best time of rallying right now. And you could probably have asked me that in 2009, I would have said the same thing. Yeah. Purely, I think it's my mindset. I'm just not the kind of person who looks back. Having said that, though, my favourite rally cars, apart from the current crop that we have in the World Championship, I have a penchant for the Metro 6R4.
Oh, got it.
Give me a Toyota Starlet any day. I just absolutely love them, and I've been very lucky to rally and not me behind the wheel. That would be an absolute disaster, believe me. I've been very privileged to watch rally in many different places around the world, and Rally Barbados is one of my favourites. And the Toyota Starlets had run there, and I couldn't tell you what they've done to the engines and how much they've souped them up. I have no idea. They can pretty much do anything they want to those cars. They sound amazing. And the Toyota Starlet is just epic. And you see so many of them competing in Ireland as well. I've worked on the Irish Tarmac Championship for the past few years, and that's an absolute joy as well. Rallying in Ireland is something really special. A lot of people have told me how brilliant it was, how great the tarmac stages were there, and you think, did Rally Island in WRC in 07 and 09. I remember it, but no, I had no idea until I visited Killarney and West Cork and Donegal. My goodness, some brilliant rallying happens in Ireland. So if you ever get the chance, have you been actually to any rallies?
I have. Well, the only one I've done, the only rallying I did, I went. Well, I went as a spectator. What year was it? I went spectated one year, and it was unbelievable. Like, if people haven't gone to watch, I mean, don't track racing is great. Going to a track and the buzz you get from a track, but my God, watching a rally car go full pelt through a forest, it's like until you have that kind of like just how fast they're going, and it's insane. It is absolutely insane. But I always remember that I was when I did the M-Sport gig at Rally Cardiff, because I kind of rocked up and they were like, I was like, oh, have I got I've got an area to create under. They're like, yeah, it's going to be in between the two cars, and I was like, what? Pardon? They're like, yeah, so you're going to have a car next to you, a car on the other side, and you're going to paint in the middle. And I was like, right. And being Wales, it was already tipping it down with rain. Anyway, Wales. But I painted in between the two rally cars, and I remember at one point they were like, "Yeah, Ian, you've got to stop painting right now because there's a car coming in, and it's absolutely like ruined, and we know we're going to have to rip it apart. So you need to stop because we're going to be throwing spanners at each other and all sorts." And I was like, "Okay." And just watching them do it was just amazing. Just amazing.
I tell you what. The mechanics definitely are the unsung heroes of the sport. What they can do in the allotted time is quite incredible. It blows me away. I've seen Rally Turkey 2 years ago, Sebastian Ogier breaking his rear, was it front suspension, Seb? Yeah, I think it was front suspension he broke. Brought the car in. All the guys managed to fix it. Even Elvin's mechanics were working on Seb's car. Elvin had to service his own car on his own, which thankfully he's a really good mechanic, so he could do that. And they managed to get Seb's car fixed. Brilliant, because it was such a lot of damage to the front section of the car. And of course, he went out after service and crashed on the very next stage, which was such a shame. But it was like an epic tale, because when he'd done the damage to the front suspension, Seb had managed to fix it himself with some ratchet straps, which, what would we do without a ratchet strap? And he set the fastest time on the very next stage, which was unbelievable. And then the guys fixed the service, and then he crashed on the next stage. So, the ups and downs of it all.
So how does that work with the co-drive? Like, I can't understand the drivers. Do the co-drivers drive? How do they do the pace notes? How does that work?
In WRC itself, the co-driver can drive the car, and you notice the co-drivers driving a lot of road sections, so the drivers can have a little bit of a rest.
Oh, right, okay.
And normally when the cars come back into service, so they come into a media zone first so we can interview them, and you head to the driver's side and you're like, oh, hello, didn't expect to find you there. And there's a great story a number of years ago, I think it was 2011, where we were in Sweden, and Petter Solberg, I think he got caught speeding and had his license taken away from him on a road section to a stage, so he couldn't compete. So his co-driver had to step in for him on the final stage of the event.
No way.
Yeah. Chris Patterson drove the final stage of the event. And I think he was very glad to see the stage end, and you could see the heli was flying over them, and Petter was trying to read the pace notes, but mainly doing directions with his hands. So straight on or left coming up, right coming up, and he was doing a lot of shouting in the car to get the messages through to Chris. But it's probably something he'd never want to do again, I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, because how it works, because I've just noticed it here as well, because on the passenger side there's no wing mirror, but they're the co-driver is so far back, aren't they? And they're back and low for the weight, aren't they?
They are, but there's probably no wing mirror because it's been knocked off at that point.
probably, yeah.
They are the first things to go, honestly, and I can't imagine how many of them they get through in a year. And this is a stat now that I am going to endeavour to find out, because they're so beautifully designed, these wing mirrors. You look at them and they are a thing of beauty, But more often than not, they disappear very rapidly. They come into contact with a tree, a hay bale, a gate, whatever, and they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah. I need to find out what that stat is. I'll look forward to hearing that.
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. There's some research for a lockdown Tuesday for you.
Well, that's something to keep me occupied during the whole lockdown, definitely.
Yeah.
A stat to find out for sure. But yeah, it must be thousands of pounds worth every year that just go missing or people pick up. And what I love to see is that spectators will, if they find something out in the forest that has been knocked off, they'll bring it back to the service park, but they won't bring it back to hand it back. They will bring it back to get it signed so that they can take it away again.
Right, but I found this, but it's not for you to keep. This is for me to keep because it's mine.
Yeah. There's been quite a few instances. I remember back in our radio days where, we've had team bosses text me and say, we've lost a certain part of the car. If anyone finds it, can you just, put out a call on the radio? We want it back in service. Can someone bring it back?
Yeah.
Because they are expensive, We're talking a lot of money here, and you don't want to be losing it all the time. So, yes.
So in terms of your kind of I know it's probably quite hard. So in terms of your favourite rally or kind of your favourite memory and favourite driver on a particular rally, what have you got a number that you kind of go, you were so glad to be there for that time?
Oh, do you know what? There's so many, and I couldn't pinpoint it to one really.
I'll let you have a couple. I'll let you have a couple there. Go for a couple.
I love first wins. First wins of a driver are so special. To see Chris Meek's first win in Argentina, to see Hayden Paddon do the same thing, very, very special. To watch Sébastien Ogier claim his first championship win in extraordinary circumstances, really, because it was after the first stage of the rally in France that we were at. We have something called the power stage, where you can gain extra points on a rally. For some reason that year, the power stage was the first stage of the event. And if he scored so many points over Sebastian Loeb, he automatically became champion. So just one stage into the event, he was celebrated as champion. And I remember him being in tears, the emotion. It's just, I think it's going back to that whole seeing, drivers grow. And that the first win is such an important one. And a special one, definitely, for me, was Elfyn Evans claiming his first win at home here in Wales. That definitely gave me goosebumps when that happened. Really did.
Yeah, and did you see him grow up through? Go through the kind of the junior levels.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Elvin's another driver who has been part of the championship for many years. He won, it was the junior championship then. It's been called a few different things over the years. It was called the WRC Academy at the time. And he had Phil Pugh sat at his side. I remember him winning that. That again was in France, actually. And that was a special moment. But then to see his journey, because a little bit like Oyt Tanak, Elvin's had a bit of it's going great. Oh, it's not going so great. Oh, it's going great again. Oh, no, not so great. He's had a kind of up and down career in a way, and now he's definitely on an upward trajectory. And it's such a shame that this year has been really kind of stinted by COVID, because Elfyn was having such a blinder of a start to the season. But yeah, seeing his first win and the celebration that he had, because he's not an emotional guy. He doesn't show emotion. And I asked him about this in our backstory podcast, why are there no tears or, screams of joy? Some drivers are very vocal. Thierry Neuville is really brilliant at expressing his emotion. You always know how he's feeling, because he never fails to show you. He will be screaming at a stage end, especially when he's won a rally by a very close finish, like he has done over Ogier and Elfyn in the past. But Elfyn keeps it all inside, and he said for him it's not the win that's important, it's the getting to the win. Every stage getting there is the important bit. That's the joy, that's the elation for him, is the success in getting to the winning point. But how he would react if he ever wins a championship, that's intriguing. Whether we'd see some tears then, I don't know. But I've yet to see Elfyn Evans cry. And I think, I hope I do, in a good way, before the end of my career.
Yeah. You don't want to purposely make him cry in a bad way. Yeah.
Kick him in the shin or something.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
get a reaction.
No, it's so awesome to hear the stories, because as I say, it's such a like the cars are cool now, that it's just just really like doing here now is just you can just really kind of do all the murder. It's just such a gritty thing to try and create, but so much fun as well.
No, absolutely. I think for me, and obviously I'm biased because I've worked in it for such a long time, but rallying for me is the most dynamic form of motorsport there is out there. Circuit racing I enjoy, but it's circuits. These guys have done the same circuits year in, year out, and bar the weather, they don't change. Whereas stages change one day to the next, 10 minutes to the next 10 minutes. If you get a thunderstorm, or if it snows, or if it's icy in the morning. So they're constantly going through a terrain which is changing all the time, and they have to adapt. And I think that is such a huge skill for them, not only to be quick drivers and have the speed, but adapt to what they're coming up against. Changing every single second out there. Confidence levels have got to be extremely high to be successful, and that's why you see a lot of drivers who are in the sport for quite a long time before they achieve success. Some get success very quickly, and they're a little bit different maybe to the rest. Loeb, Ogier. Some build and it takes them a while, and then once they get there, like Oit, who's supreme at the moment, it's something special to watch. It's all kind of down to confidence and adaptability.
So what would you like to see in the next few years in terms of rallying? Because in terms of like female drivers, are there some people in the kind of the process of getting up there? I mean, what would you like to see over the next few years happen?
I would like to say, there's no question I would love to see more female drivers out there. We haven't got a huge amount of female competitors. We have Katie Munnings, who's currently in the junior championship right now. We have a lot of female co-drivers who, sometimes I feel they go unnoticed because they're not in the driving seat. But we've got females who've been out there for so many years who are doing so well. Rhiannon Gelsomino springs to mind, who's been competing for such a long time and has achieved a lot as a co-driver, regardless of what her sex is. She's achieved a lot in many different countries. But Molly Taylor in Australia, who was Australian rally champion out there, and she was within the World Championship for a while. She is going to be off, I'm sure, doing exciting things in her future. I would like to see more females coming in every aspect, not just behind the wheel, not just in a co-driving seat, but also in terms of mechanics, engineering, and more female journalists. I mean, let's mix it all in. Why not? Doesn't have to be a male-dominated sport, and hopefully, people who... And, I have had this, and it's not just me saying it because I'm a woman, but you do get younger girls coming to me who are intimidated by coming into a sport which is so male-dominated, and my response to that is just get in there. Just get in there and do what you want to do, because it doesn't matter what sex you are anymore. It really doesn't.
Yeah, but... So, important, wasn't the helicopter? Have you been up in the helicopter?
I haven't been up in that helicopter, no. So, do you know what? I'm not sure I could do it. I know people who have been up in that helicopter. A good friend of mine, Rosanna, who works now in Formula One, she worked in rally for a time, and she went up with her cameraman to film how they did it. And she threw up on camera.
Nice.
Because it's wild. I mean, the guy, there's two teams, and Thibaut, who flies the helicopter, he's actually trained Thierry Neuville to fly helicopters.
Wow. Yeah.
But the way they follow the cars, it's, you're kind of almost, your heart is in your mouth watching the helicopter rather than the car, to be completely honest.
It is awesome seeing the footage. But yeah, this is probably a mass in some kind of hill range, mountain range whilst they're doing this shot. So I imagine it's they've definitely got braver than me, I think is the polite way of saying it. At least.
If somebody gave me the invitation to go in that helicopter, I would probably politely decline. What about you? Would you go in it?
It's nice to watch it. I think probably not. I'm not. I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to that. I think I'm a bit of a kind of. I'm all right. I'll watch it from there. I'll watch it from here. I'll be like, yeah, I'm all right actually. So
have you been in a rally car?
Have been in a rally car. See, have I been in a rally? I don't know whether I have or not.
I can't believe you're having to think about this. If you have to think about this, you haven't been in a rally car.
Well, I've done. The thing is, when I'm at events, I don't really get a chance to do like cool stuff. Like I'm kind of head down, drawing, creating paintings and whatnot. So I don't know. See, recently I went out to Japan and they had some of the like. Oh, so in the Toyota world in Japan, they've got some of the like the proper old school Group B stuff, and like I remember like I didn't know it was there. This room was there, and I walked into it. I was like, oh my god! It's got all the Celica, and I was like, oh my god! And then I was over at the Subaru. Subaru have got some of the McRae cars, and they've got some of the other cars that they've the STI cars they've done, and they're like, oh, you can sit in them, but I was like, oh, I don't want to. I kind of just want to enjoy them from afar and not get in them. Yeah, I kind of respect them for what they are really and the heritage they have. So, but right, we're nearly there. So hopefully, I'm waffling on now, but hopefully you can see there is a Ford Fiesta WRC going through lots of mud and stuff with a helicopter at the top.
Fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I llove the heli. Thank you for doing the
It's
heli.
alright, it's alright. I was like, oh, I've just gone for the heli shot. Oh no. It's fine. It's fine. I might add a little bit of sky into it. I don't know, because Instagram cuts off after an hour, so I don't want to lose the conversation. So I might.
It looks so dynamic. It looks so dynamic like that.
I'll put it to the screen so you can properly see it. So there we are. There we are.
Oh, that's brilliant, Ian. Brilliant.
So in terms of, if it was to get what other rally cars, or if it was to have a conversation with a rally driver, who would you think who would be a good person to chat to?
Oh, you definitely need to chat to Craig Breen because he'd get you to draw the Metro 6R4, which is also his favourite car.
Well, but we have done a 6R4, but I don't mind doing another one. That's fine. So
you've done one already.
I've done very early days. Very early on.
Apologies.
I did a no, I didn't know. It was we're on.
Well,
we're on.
Gary Matty Lapfella then with a Toyota.
Oh, the new Toyota would look amazing. So
Yes.
I do love the R5 WRC cars. I think they look amazing. So
Gary Matty's got such a wealth of history of cars. He's got his own little museum going on. He would be brilliant to chat to.
That sounds.
You probably need more than an hour though.
I just a whole day.
He talks a lot, does Gary Matty.
That's all right. I'm all right with that. I just enjoy the car. I just enjoy hearing about all the cars. So Craig Breen or Yari Matty, that sounds a good idea.
Absolutely, those are my shouts.
But all of these
Matty.
artworks will feature in a book as well. So we're doing a crowdfunder book, which is there. So crowdfunder.co.uk continuous-wheels. So all of these artworks, which we're now up to 300 and I think I'll just double check the amount because I'm really good at not getting the right amount. 319 is this one.
Wow.
So 319, and they'll be in a book. So there'll be I'd love to do more rally cars. I know there will be more rally cars this week as well. But it's been super awesome to chat to you, and thank you so much for taking your time out to and I hopefully you've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, it was an honour to watch you work. It really was. So thank you very much for asking me.
That's
right. It's been a joy.
Well, the history of WRC, and I'll make sure that I'll tune into your podcast as well because I want to hear about that. But again, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see each other at some kind of motorsport event soon.
I'd love that, Ian. Thank you very much.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Right, here we are. Thank you very much. Right, so I'm going to get that on. That's got head on it, and there it is. There it is on the screen again, so you can see it as well. And the next one will be at 9 o'clock. So 9 till 10, and we're going to be doing a Land Rover then. So see you soon, and thanks for watching.